Maxwell, thanks for staying on the program. We can now look into issues from the eastern region, specifically from communities around the Asuoyaa, the new Asuoyaa River, including Kotobabi, Adomrebru, and Beboso. Now, the reason these communities have come under the radar is because children of school-going age, as young as 3, would have to swim to be able to get to school. Without the ability to do so, they cannot get education, which is a basic right of every child here in Ghana. This particular issue, Maxwell Kudeko is our correspondent in the eastern region. He's a multimedia journalist. Thank you very much, Maxwell, for your time here.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Maxwell. Maxwell, tell us more about the story from the eastern region.
For the purpose of our viewers and those listening to us, New Asuoyaa is a suburb of the Akuapem North municipality, and it's quite close to the eastern regional capital, Koforidua. When you're driving from Koforidua to Manfi, when you pass Okrasi, you meet a junction on your right. That's about 2 minutes drive from Koforidua Okrasi, then you will get to New Asuoyaa. This is where you find children of school-going age have to swim or swim in the Denso River before they can access quality education. New Asuoyaa has about 6 communities, including Domiabra, Miaweni, Beposo, Adumfori, Amanfrum, and then Kotobabi. These are all farming communities that are behind the Denso River. The only school in the area is the Roman Catholic school that starts from primary school to, that is primary 1 to primary 6. And then also majority of people who access education there has to commute from these villages before they can access education at Asuoyaa. The Denso River is one of the major rivers in the eastern region, and the Denso River serves as a barrier between Asuoyaa and the other communities that I have mentioned. About 85 to 90% of the people who attend school at Asuoyaa also come from those communities. Now, the situation is such that the Denso River is the only access or the only route that these people can apply before accessing education. When the river exceeds its boundary, those students who do not like to attend school certainly has to stay in the farms with their parents and what have you. But the few ones who are determined to climb high the academic ladder has no option than to swim the Denso River to school.
In other words, it's even more difficult to go across the river when it overflows at banks.
Fantastic. That's the point. That's the point. It's very difficult to cross the river. The community, I'm told, there's a Presby church there. They bought a canoe on the river, but the canoe is not in a good shape. And I'm told between last year and this year, 2 children, including 1 adult, lost their life in their quest to cross the Denso River to New Asuoyaa to access quality education and also to do business. The few ones, as I said, who don't like education certainly do not come to school when the river exceeds 8 banks. And then those who are determined to make it has no option than to swim. I met a couple of the people who were swimming on that fateful morning that I got there. You realize that a few of them have to fold their uniforms, others have to remove their uniform and put it in a polythene bag and then swim to the other side of the river before they can access quality education. It is not limited to people alone. Majority of the foodstuff that you can find along the Koforidua Manfi Road comes from that village. And then also the farmers has to pass through this same ordeal before they can bring their product to New Asuoyaa for people to buy and then go and sell by the roadside. As a result, the market at New Asuoyaa has collapsed totally, and then also education has also become a problem for
what are the ages of these children?
Sorry?
I'm asking what the ages of these children are, these children who have to cross that river every time they have to go to school.
They are between 2-3 years and above. I met a little girl who she will be around 2 or 3 years. Some were 4, 5 years, 6, and what have you. But the other side of the story is that the little ones who cannot swim are aided by the adults to cross the river. When the river overflows, it banks, and even adults want to cross the river. You realize that those who cross have difficulties in crossing, so they carry the children on their shoulder, and then they cross the river before they can access education. So they are minors between 2, 3, and above, and these children are determined.
Parents of these children must be extremely worried that when their children have to go to school.
Fantastic. I spoke with the Odikro of the town. He is the overlord of the New Asuoyaa, and he also takes charge of the other communities around, those communities who traveled from the behind the river Dinsu. And the Odikro, as popularly called Opening Daniel Kwame Bekwin, tells me that the situation is horrible, and that for that matter, the people of Asuoyaa and its environs are not living a very good life. They believe that they are being deprived of their rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. And then the other side of the story is that the Odikro tells me that there is no health facility at the place. And in some cases where you have pregnant women who come from the other communities I mentioned earlier, when there are emergencies during late hours, they find it difficult to commute from the villages to and then cross the river.
But there must be an assembly in this area which could take care of some of these things. Did you get to talk to the MCE or DCE of this area? Any authority at all?
Fantastic. Before we went there, I asked the Odikro Opening Kwame Bekwin whether the assembly has made any effort to come to their aid, or whether or not the assembly is aware of the situation. He tells me that they have had the cause to complain to the government through the assembly, but the fact of the matter is that the DCE has never stepped foot to the place. He tells me that the only time you have government officials coming to the village is during election times, when they come to campaign. And then when they come, they give them all kind of sweet words and what have you. They tell them, though, we are going to fix the bridge and what have you. But as soon as elections are over, they don't hear from them again. I had a chat with the municipal chief executive of the Asuoyaa North municipality, whose district Asuoyaa falls under. And he tells me that the assembly is aware of the situation, but they are working around the clock to find a lasting solution to the problem. He wasn't too specific as to when the assembly would step in, but he told me that the assembly is aware of the situation, and that is all he could tell me.
Very well. Thank you very much, Maxwell, for that report. Maxwell Kudeko joined us from the Eastern region, where he visited New Asuoyaa, and he reports that 6 communities around New Asuoyaa would have to deal with a river to be able to have access to the rest of town or some basic amenities, including education. There's more to come here. Don't go away.